Life. I was just sitting here thinking about how I went to singles night at church and it was hundreds. I mean, at least 1,000. First, I thought it was 500, but the pastor said it was 1,000 singles in attendance. Like, are we all living the same life at this point? Because I've never been in a room with that many single people or even thought that it was even, I thought I was like the only one left. I mean, beautiful women, all types, shapes and sizes, literally African-American women. Like a room full of singles. And I'm like, this has to be an experiment. Like, this has to be like assimilation. Or is that the word I want to use? I think so. Like, I'm confused and I'm like low-key, like nervous, like for us. Well, shit for myself, fuck y'all. Because where are the men? Where are the men? Then again, don't know. Never mind. Don't.
Now, look, I'm going to pause it here. But this seems to be the narrative that's going around. Y'all see social media. A lot of men that follow me, they're like, DeeDee, baby, we don't care, child. Oh, my God. A lot of y'all be like, we don't care. And I get it. And I'm hearing more and more of that. More men are saying, we don't care. It's too late. Y'all saw the video with the bear. Go call the bear. You know, it's really gotten to that point. And listen, I said this probably a while back. I don't know if y'all remember. Women are so detached from men and don't understand the nature of men. So they don't understand how men move. To me, the way men are moving is not shocking. It's not shocking to me. But it's shocking to a lot of these modern women because they don't understand men. They don't understand when men make a decision. And that's my experience that from what I've seen. When men make a decision, they make a move and make a decision, they make that move. They make the decision and they don't usually go back on it. We're the ones. See, this is why I say, from my experience, a lot of women believe that men move the way they move. And this is where we're different. They think men go back. Now, there might be a few, but the majority of men, from what I've experienced, when they make a decision, this is why they don't a lot of times rush to make the decisions. They think about it. They have to, which women, it make women frustrated because a lot of women say men move too slow. Y'all don't, even myself, I've been there. That's how I know it's real. A lot of women think men take too long to make decisions and take too long to do this because they have to think of how this is going to affect their lives, how they got to go about this, and they consider their money and all these things. Women, we make quick, fast, irrational moves and then regret it later in the name of, oh, you moved so if I want something done, I got to do it so fast, and we do things so quickly, and then we make mistakes, and then we want to blame the man for not stopping us or controlling us when you don't like control or guidance or direction or leadership. But it's always somebody else's fault, so from what I've gathered and experienced from men, when they make a decision, that's their decision. If they want a certain thing to eat, they pick what they want to eat, and that's what they know they want. They don't have to go back and forth all around the corner and back to decide about certain things. They know what they want, and they usually stick to it. You know what And if I'm wrong, let me know. Do y'all agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But from what I gather, men are pretty solid in their choices. I want this or that. They know what they want. They get that. And if they like something, they usually stick with it. Women, we're all over the place. We're all around, all over the place. We don't know what we want. We switch it up. Oh, I think I want that. I don't know. We do that. That's in our nature. That's in our nature. And so I think that plays a big problem when it comes to relationships with men and women. There are differences there. And I always say, listen, if we could understand each other and understand our differences, we could work better together. But a lot of these modern women, unfortunately, do not understand men. They don't understand how men think, because if they did, they would have been more cautious about all of this, all this negative rhetoric that they put out here on social media. They would have been more cautious about that. They would have thought, they would have had a little bit, it would have been a much bigger thought process before they start saying all men are this, generalizing all men ain't this, and they're the bottom of the barrel, and we don't want you, we don't need you. But if we want you, you got to make 6 figures. You got to have this. You got to have that. I ain't dealing with this. I need you to pay all the bills, pay my rent, give me a deposit to take me out. If they understood the nature of men, they would have probably not moved the way they moved. Because the issue now that they're having is like this video. And I'm going to get back into the video. The video with 1,000 women at church, not a man, barely 1 or 2 men, child. You don't see a man in sight, barely. If they in there, they're barely there. And it's and this is in Kevin Samuels, shout out, rest in peace to KS, he said it. You see, he said it before that man passed, and now we see it even more. You have restaurants full of women, the men aren't there. Churches full of women, the men aren't there. Grave sites full of women and children, the men not there. Everywhere you go, it's a bunch of women and no men are there. And it has come to fruition. You see women out here complaining, and look what they're asking, where are the men? What is going on? What's happening? Y'all don't realize, this is the part that gets me. You don't realize what's happening. It's like y'all are delusional as usual. You're lost in the sauce. You have no clue. It's like y'all just dumbfounded. Wait a minute, like y'all ain't said, we don't want you, don't need. But this is once again, the mentality of women. Throw the dirt, hide your hands, then act oblivious. And then take no accountability for the dirt that you slung out there, because you don't want no fault in it. You don't want to say, oh, you had anything to do with it. And it's a delusional state that's hurting relationships to this day. And it's hurting them getting the things that they say they want. So it's just funny to me when they all asking, where are the men? Y'all really are walking away. There are videos out there where they're really asking, where are the men? Like they're so lost in the sauce. Like, where are the men? What's going on? We're getting scared. Right. You don't understand the nature of men. Y'all told the men what y'all wanted. Y'all had ample amount of time to push that narrative out there. Y'all didn't think that the men were listening, and they were. And they realized something. Oh, okay. This is how y'all feel about us. And y'all made it very, very clear. This is why I say the good gonna have to suffer for the bad, because if you weren't the one doing that, well, your representatives of the sisterhood came out strong and hard. The same way y'all killed chivalry, y'all did this too. And y'all didn't think that men were listening, because a lot of men aren't on social media like most women, and they were listening and they were taking notes. And every man didn't have to come out and say something. They just moved in silence. Okay, this how you feel. I don't trust you. I go out on date. This how the women looking at me like they too good for me. So I'm just going to push back. That's what men do. Men don't do all that talking. Some of them do, but the majority of them don't. They don't do all that talking, all that. Just notice and they move away. You got to be cautious with men, because men don't show their emotions and feelings the way we do. We talk too much. We talk, and we let you know, and we how we feel all day till it's annoying. You know what I mean? It can be annoying. Sometimes I get tired of hearing myself talk. I ain't gonna lie. I told that to my husband. He bust out laughing. I said, you know what? Sometimes I need to shut the hell up. I told myself that. I'm like, I'm tired of hearing myself talking. I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet. He just bust out laughing. But it's funny because it's true. He don't have to tell me no more. I know, okay, I'm talking too much. I'm gonna go sit down. I'm gonna be quiet. Cause I know you ain't gonna tell me I'm annoying sometimes. He ain't gonna tell me that. But I can see it in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I know, okay, I'm gonna shut the hell up. I'm gonna back up. He just start laughing. But it's true, we talk too much. So I think women have made a horrible mistake, and they're starting to realize it. They're starting to realize it. And now they're scared. They're scared, y'all.
Oh my God. They're scared.
I didn't mean to laugh, because listen, I have daughters and I have sons, and God knows I want them to meet good people to marry. So this can affect us all. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. And I'm just saying, now they're scared. Now they starting to peek into reality to see what they've created, but they're still in denial. Let's get into the video.
We know where they at. Bye. The doing life alone thing is cool, but we really all do need somebody to like balance this out, like to bounce ideas off of, to lay your burdens onto, to lay your cares and fears onto. Like, y'all want to do that shit alone forever. It took a long time for me to realize that your success is also measured by your connections. God wouldn't even allow Adam to be alone. Let that sink in. No matter the story, he shared life with someone. I feel like life alone is just survival, but building a life together is building a legacy. Like, I think a lot of us are forgetting that part. Like, and I think that's the part I hate for us the most. In order to find your person, you have to be someone's person. Or y'all just don't want to be no one's person, like, at all. Y'all just done. Oh, okay. And I learned a long time ago that being distant and disconnected is not strength. You're just gatekeeping your triggers. I think the cherry on top to life is having a person that celebrates you.
Some of these women are starting to wake up. They're starting to wake up. They're starting to recognize the errors of their ways. They're starting to realize that they made a mistake, but they're still in denial. And but I don't think they understand. You know, these men are literally out of Dodge. They're not even checking that. You know, these men have accepted. See, that's something that a lot of women can't do. You can't accept your flaws and your mistakes and apologize and be accountable. But men could say, okay, this is what it is. You know, for years, they thought women were these, you know, just harmless creatures, and they just was so great. And I understand that. And women, and like I said before, men were taught that they need to do things for a woman. They need to be this for a woman. They need to contribute this. If a woman, you interested in a woman, you should be willing to pay her bills. This is what they've taught. They've told men in the back in the day. You should be willing to cater to this woman or court her, and, you know, open her door and be a gentleman and be chivalrous, because women like these things. Men have a whole host of things that they were taught and told that they need to be for a woman that they're interested in. But I'm telling you, I should not. Growing up, ain't nobody told me what I should be for a man.
Oh my God.
Ain't nobody told me as a woman, as a young woman and a wife, if you want to be a wife, this is XYZ. You need to do this for this man. You need to do this. You need to do that. We have never been told that. Well, at least I know I haven't. And majority of women have not. And it's obvious. The problem that these women are going to have now is because these men are a little bit more woker, and they understand their worth and their value and what they want in their lives. And they don't want to deal with these types of unrealistic, entitled women. So now they're like, nah, I mean, you'd have been ran through. This is what men are saying. You'd have been ran through. Now, of course, you got men out here who would smash anything. They don't care. They don't care if you got a BB bell. They don't care if it stink. They don't care what you got going. They don't care if your feet black. They don't care if your crack is black. Some of them will still crack. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So some of them will just raw dog all day. They don't care. But then you have a group of men who have standards, and they don't care about all of that. And they're not desperate. And they're not risking their livelihood and maybe getting you knocked up, and then that's it. Now your whole life is ruined. They're not trying to do that.
DeeDeesReactions, videos and live plays. DeeDeesReactions, she's about to put on a show. DeeDeesReactions, just to let you know, like, share, subscribe. We about to go live.